Hi all, so welcome to another day on this JMeter training, and it will be maybe day 19, day 2 probably. I think it will be, but whatever. It's not like that the sequence are followed exactly. Some days can be extended, they will be extended because it all depends on the timing and the explanation. This course content I prepared taking 1.30 hours every day, but we are not doing that much every day, right? Sometimes we are doing more, sometimes we are doing less. Some days on one point explanation will be more, time will be consumed. So do not worry about the day. Only thing, it will not be less. Okay? It will be more, but not be less. So even if you see, I have written here 19, and today we are in day 19. Whatever topics are there, I don't think it will be covered in day 19. It will take, by 21, it will take in the 21. I think 23 days. It will take cover all things till year 22 to 23. Fine. So going back, right. So we have what we have done in our script that we are working on. We have fixed all the dynamic values, or yeah, we have done the correlation and parameterization for all the non-conventional, sorry, not conventional dynamic or the real dynamic, right? So we have done correlation and parameterization for the conventional dynamic or the real instance dynamic authentication token or authorization. So we have completed that, correct, in our script that on which we are working, that is product. And then there is non-conventional, so we'll come to that later on. And after doing this, so that is what we have find all the dynamic values, and we have completed the correlation and parameterization, right? We have executed the script for one user, and we have executed it, means we have run and tested it fine, and everything is working fine. And at the end of day, what we have seen is a script is the script is doing the same thing what real user does. So it's a booking a product first, right? So that is the, and in real time we can find that, or we can identify that, or we can like verify, right? Cross verify that by logging in application, right? With that same credential. Fine. So till this point we have come. So that is scripting. Right? This is scripting. So if scripting is done perfectly, so it is going to do the same thing what real user do, right? And now the same scenario we will can execute for multiple users, correct? But not now. There are some more steps to work on. But yeah, that's all. So at any time I'll be running it. So for this credential, it is always going to book a product, and we can see that here also. Okay, hmm, here also, and we can cross verify that the in the application as well, right? In real time in application EYM. So anytime, any day, if I'll be running this script, and this script is always going to book a order. You see 3188. Yeah, it's reflecting, right? And you can click on this as well. And Yeah. So this is the so that is scripting. Now next thing. So this is just a like 50% we have completed. Still 50% work is left. But hope now you people have got the idea what a script does, correct? And why we work or why we all this correlation parameters. So basically, at end of day, it has to do what the real user is doing, and the result has to reflect in the application UI also. Uh, we should see that result here also in the application UI. Any application you are working and whatever you are doing, it should be shown here. Means it should reflect here. Then only uh, we assume, or then only will be 100% sure that this is verified. Now, next thing, next step. So till here it's completed. Then run the script. Right? Prepare the script so that it can run for one or multiple users. So now we are going to do for multiple different users, and we will be testing it for multiple different user, minimum 2 different. So currently, if you see, this script is booking an order for this credential. Now, suppose we want to run it for 100 users, or not 100, just take a small 10 users. So it should book product. It should book a product for 10 different users, right? That is what in real time. That is the main thing, right? That in real time or real scenario, 10 different user or 100 different user will be booking the product, correct? And that credential will also be different. So we have to simulate the same thing. So now if I'll run it, even if you run it for 2 user or 3 user, what will happen? It will run for 3 user. Here you can see the number of user as well. And here all things will be executed three times. Okay. You can see here three times everything happen. Here you can see 3 users, right? And 3 order has been booked also. But what is the problem is? Problem is that it is booking the order. It is booking, that is fine. But it is booking for same credential. It's same username and password. Okay. So the same is used. Right? So you can see all these 3 orders, 82, 84, and 83 will be here. 82, 83, 80. So that is fine, but that is not real time. In real time, different credential people. So that's what next step is to make it. This script should run. We have to make this script so that it should run for multiple different features. Now, how to do that? So to do that, let us say we have credential. We will take with two. Right? So we have two different username and password. Right? So how we will pass two different username password here? Correct. Then only you should take two different username password, right? Or 10 different username and password. Okay. So for that, see here, we cannot pass 10 different username and password, or not 10, even two different username and password. You cannot pass because it will take only one, right? Whatever you are passing. So then, how to do that, right? So for that, we have to prepare our test data. Correct. We have to prepare our test data. So test data preparation, and we'll see the use of CSV data. Let's jump to this. So we will talk about this topic. CSV dataset config, random CSV dataset config, then absolute path, relative path, and preparing the test data. So see, in JMeter, test data can be prepared using two files, file formats, that is .csv file or .txt file. Okay, anyone. So how it is prepared? So let us say this is folder. This is our project folder. Here we can just write new and click on text document. You can open that and go to file and do save as and give some good name like let us say yes 01 Okay. So Year-01 PB scenario ID test data like test data one dot file extension dot if you not give it will take dot so that is what you see. So you can see it has been created here. Dot extension is dot txt and here also it's so that is what first we'll see this, but next we will see this. This is preferred one dot. Now what we have to do is in this file first thing we will be writing is a variable name. Okay, variable name in which you can store this value. So let us say I want to call here multiple different usernames and here multiple different passwords. So first I have to create a variable, right? Variable. And then only in this variable we can store some value and then variable we can call it here. We like same way, right? You see here suppose we are extracting source page and then source page is getting stored in this variable and this variable we are calling here, right? Or FPID. And so like that, so if we run it for one user or multiple users, so here we are able to pass different source page ID and different FPID for different users, correct? So same way, but this is the process of correlation. Correlation means we are extracting and we are passing it over here, right? Now here this is not correlation. Okay. Why it is not correlation? First we have to understand. In correlation, what we do? First understand the concept of correlation. In correlation, those values are coming from server side. All the values comes from server. Server is giving those us those values, right? And then we extract those value, extract, and then we pass it back to the server, right? Pass it. So we are taking the value from server side, and then we are extracting it, and then we are passing it back, right? We are passing. That is the whole concept of correlation. So value, whatever these value are there, whatever the values, they are first coming from server one in the code or text format. Right? But here, the username and password that we need to pass, is this value coming from server side? Like no, correct? These are pure user inputs. Pure user inputs. Okay. What is the meaning of pure user input? Pure user inputs means we are on sign in page, the login. So this username and password is pure user input, right? It's pure payload. Means server is not giving us any option or any value that you have to choose and send put it here and send it back to server. No, we have to give it from our side. The user has to give it from his side. So it's a pure user input. Correct. So here correlation concept cannot be done here. So when we pass the user input from our side, so for different user we have to pass different password or same way there was a on final booking page we have a form, right? Enter detail and continue page where we are filling the details, address, credit card number. So all are pure user inputs, right? Or payload. So all those things we have to pass it from our end, means the user end, correct? They are not coming from server side. So how that has to pass? So those all and then for different user we have to pass different values, right? So multiple users, so multiple different values. So this all we can do only through test data. So this is how. So we are going to prepare a test data for username and password. Right? So we have prepared this a file name dot txt. Now first thing we have to create is a variable name. Okay. because concept will remain same, right? A variable here, this value is expected and stored here, we are calling here. So same way, all multiple username or password, we have to store that in a variable, and those variable we have to call it here. So first a variable thing. So let us say variable name username. Then we have to give comma. Then next password. Okay. See, right? So this is one variable. This is another variable separated by. Now below this, you put the username. So suppose copy and this is one username, comma, a password is ABC 1 2 3 4. Okay. Another username is J2W, comma, like that. So like that you can put one more user. Like that you can keep on putting thousands, hundred, depending on how much you need. Now say. So I'm just doing two because we have only two, four now. We can generate n number. You can we can re-register so many users generate. But for now, let us say we have two. This is the default one, and this is the user we have registered. So two users. So now you see this is username, and this is password, and this is password. How JMeter will know? Because of this comma. This is first variable. This is second variable separated by comma. So in this variable, this all value will be set. First part. Whatever before comma is there, na? Whatever before comma. So these all will be considered as value for this variable, and for this variable, this all value, right? Whatever after comma. You can create one more if it is required. You can create if required. Suppose one more variable here, something maybe. I'll be explaining that later on. For now, let it be. So now save, right? Save. Now next, what we have to, so this is done, right? Now this in place of this values, we have to put the variables in same parameterization syntax. Dollar flower, that is same always. Flower basis variable flower basis in same pattern, right? So copy this variable, select and put, then remove this value and put dollar flower braces variable. Same way for password, copy that and remove this value. Dollar flower braces variable and flower braces. So it's done. So now what will happen? We have put in the variable name. So now we can call this value. How that will call another thing I'll show you. Now, right. So I hope you are getting them. Now next is so this is prepared. We have removed the hard coded value. Those value are called hard means fixed value with the variables. Now we have to tell the JMeter where this file is, because JMeter do not. This is my script, and I want to pass this value from this file. This all value I want to pass, but where is this file, right? So we have to tell that to JMeter, right? So for that purpose, this element is used. CSV dataset config element. It's one of the config element. Uh, so first minimize this simple control and right click on thread group, go to add, go to config element and use CSV dataset. So you see config element. So cookie manager we added is also config element, right? This is first one. So click on that. So when you click generate, it will come on downside. We can keep it here also, not a problem, but generally it's the best practice. Just drag it. Yeah, we can always drag it up. And we have to add this inside a thread group only because this test data is for this thread group. That's why. Fine. So you see it got added. Very simple. Now here we have to put that file name, complete path of the file name, right? So from where you will get so this file, right? Save. Now this file where it is? This is here, right? And it is located here, right? So this whole or you can right click on this file press control and right click. So you'll see this option copy as path. If you right click normally, that do not come, or if it is coming. So right click and you'll see copy as path, a new option. So you can copy that. So if you see, this is the complete path of it. Right? This is whole is the folder location, and this is the file path. Now, when we do copy as path, what happens? The inverted comma gets added. So that we have to remove. Right? Otherwise, it will not take. It will not. Emitter will not. So from beginning and end, remove that. Now this path, copy that, put it. So this way, JMeter will know that through this CSV dataset config. This file is here. Here, where is this file? And it has to read this value for this variable, and it has to put that values here. Okay. There are some other options also. I'll explain them, which are important. But for now, let us. So, right. So now I'm going to run this. First, we will run for one user. See, when I ran for one user in login, uh, in login, right? Yeah, in login, you can go and check. So what it is taking? It's taking the username. Is it taking on, right? Taking from the file, you can see. And for this user, whether order is booked or not, we can also confirm it. So what is the order ID? 31891. So you can see 3189. 3189. Now, so now we will run for two users. Then only will come to know right, whether it's reading this both or not. So here we can increase two. Okay. So now, if you see, one thing. Okay. Let me explain. So fine. So if you want to see, we have login, right? So how the data is picked from this CSV file? Remember, first user will pick the first set of test data, and second user will pick the second set of test. If more test data are there, so like that, third user will pick third, fourth user will pick fourth, fifth user will pick fifth. Like that, it all happens. Okay. So and how we'll know which is first user? So we can click on this login and click on this. So if you see, this is first, right? So you can go to request tab and you can see here. Uh, First user picking first set of test data, right? And then we have another login. So this is second user, and it is see, it is picking this. See, now like that, if third, fourth, like so many tests that are there, we can put. And suppose five tests that are there and five user you are running. So first one will pick this, second one will pick this, third one will pick this, fourth one will pick this, fifth one will pick pick this, right? Like that it will. Uh, then there are some other cases as well, so I'll explain all. But for now, yeah. So hope you have seen, right? Now, for this both user, whether order is booked or not. So we can see here one confirm here and one confirm here. So one confirm is by which way? For second user, second user. So this is for second user, and this confirm is for first user or by first. So first we'll check for first user. So its order ID is 31894. Why I'm saying to check it? Because we are logged in uh, currently we are logged in application with first user credential. So I'll just refresh this page. Okay, refresh this page. Reload. So you see 31894. Right? 31894. Even you can whatever the order and other thing. Click on this. Yeah, right. It's all same. Right? Adult female gold. So that is done. Now we'll verify for the second user. So for that we will do sign. Then so J2W J2W. That is the now again my accounts, my orders. Here you'll see so many orders are there. That's why I do not use this credential because what happens? So many people, as you said, this is a practice website, right? So many people are practicing on this. So they runs the test, and that's why you see so many orders. This page is very big. Fine. That is not a problem. We'll try to find our order. So which is here. We can just cross verify. So this is the confirm by second user, right? And this is the response. So this is the order ID 31893. 31893. It's there. Some other person is practicing. Maybe you see, this is not us, but someone is practicing. You see, for tester like that. So people practice and order gets. Maybe some student like that. He will be. Uh, anyone will be practicing booking. So that's why this order has been reflected. And he ran the test just now only. That's why with three series it came. Okay, so like that, people practice it, right? That's why so many order we see. Not an issue. We'll try to find our order 31893. So out of so many order, how to find it? So we'll press Control F here and 3 31893. 31893. Yeah, 31893. Yeah, it's here. So you can verify everything. Jojo bin. These are the all which we have put in the card number. You can explain Jojo bin. All this thing and adult female goldfish 520. So you can see here. So now you see it's booking for both the users. Right? So like that, we have to verify for at least 2 or 3 users by preparing a test data like this, and we have to cross verify that. Okay. Now, then only you will be sure that okay for two different users it's working. One Fine. Actually, there are some concepts that should be covered before this. That was the sequence. Fine. But yeah, actually, so, this happened. Uh, Fine. No problem in that. Why? What I missed actually. See, we have to. These three are still discipline. Generally, I, I should have fixed these also. Then only we should have run that for multiple users. So now let us say we have started this topic, so we'll complete this. Otherwise, if I jump there, it create confusion. So that was syntax. That was I also was confusing why I have written this. Sometimes I also forget. I'm taking for a long time. Not a problem. There are these points are there. So we'll come back to them. This was little later on. Okay. So for now we will keep this as it is. We will fix them, and that is when we'll be talking about this point. Here I should have written whatever. Okay. Next is hmm. So let us finish this. What we have started at least. Then I can. Okay. So coming back, right? So you see, this is how a test data is. Right? Now, next thing is, so this test data is prepared in TXT form, and this is not that much prepared. Prepared is CSV. Now, how to prepare the CSV? That is also very simple. In same way, we have to do. Only thing is the extension, right? File extension. You know, everything as if every computer in computer world, every file has extension. So it's a TXT file. So its extension will be a CSV. Okay. So how to prepare that? So again, close this. Same way in the project folder. Let's say, you can open a notepad, new and notepad, and double click on open it. Then go to file and go to save as and give a good name. So same like PS01 PB test data 1. Okay, this data 1. Now here we have to put the extension compulsory, that is dot CSV. This is the name and that is dot CSV. Extension we have to put dot CSV, right? Dot CSV. And from here we have to choose all. Save as type. From drop down we have to choose all and then save. So you will see this CSV file has been created. There also you can see. Now what is CSV? CSV file is a delimited form of Excel only. Here you can see what it is written. Microsoft Excel comma separated values. What is the full form of CSV file? Comma, comma, separated values. Okay, means all the value will be separated by comma, and that is how in text format also it was there, right? Every value was separated to that same thing. But in TXT form, we were giving comma from our end. Here, we will not be giving. Automatically, it will take. Plus, we can open that in Excel and things look beautiful. So, I'll show you. So, before we open that file in Excel, This is CSV. First, at least give the as a good practice, give the variable name. So username, username, comma, password, and let us save. Now we can close this. Now, if you double click on this, this is that one. Right? CSV. Okay. So double click on. So when you double click, you see. So you can see here, right, how it's looking, and the we have given variable names, right? So it's coming there, and we have given their comma, right? But here comma is not shown because comma these all values are separated by comma. That is what CSV, but that is not shown here. But in backend, it's there in comma. You can always open this in Notepad every time, Notepad or any text editor, and you can see there. Okay, so these are the variable column that we created, right? This is variable column. So this is username variable column password. Now, and it looks beautiful as this tabular form. Now, in below them, you can put all the usernames and respective password. So let us say first username. Username. No need to give comma. Comma will be automatically. One password is PC2. Then another username J J2. Yes, password J2. Like that. You can put thousands of username, thousands of passwords. It looks beautiful also. Username, username, sequence. And that's what we can save. And so it has been saved. And as I said, you can open that in Notepad. So if I open that in Notepad, you'll see it looks like same as TXT one with edit in Notepad or open with Notepad. So you see .cs. It has been opened. So how it looks here, actually, if you see the same thing, right? But here comma is not there, and table comes up, and things looks beautiful. But the same thing when we open that in Notepad, right? Actually, the value are separated by comma, and this is how it looks. This is very similar to our TXT, this file which we prepared, right? Only difference is this is TXT and this is CSV. CSV has added advantage. We can open that in Excel and we can make the things look good, right? And yeah, it's more handy plus more convenient while working in Excel, right? But at the end of the day, the values are stored like this one row. So these all value are separated by comma, right? That is what CSV comma separated values, right? But those comma we do not see. It is in backend, right? So this is how it is separated. Even if you put the thousands of username and password here, it will show thousands of username and password separated. Okay. Now, next thing, so CSV file is prepared. Now this path, right? Path we have to give in JMeter. So copy as path and then come here. This was for text. We will delete this. We'll put the CSV file path. Here inverted quotes as king that we will delete. This also. Okay. So this is how, and then before I, yeah, you will get the idea whether it is speaking or not. You can see your login here, and so Jojo, right? It's speaking. Right? First user is speaking this. It's is the first user. And then another login here. This is second user, and second user is speaking this. J2EE. And even response you can see here. It's welcome Jojo. Okay. So both are logging. Correct. Now, right, so you see now same way if we have third user credential, fourth, fifth, sixth, and suppose we have 10 credential and you are running for 10. So this is how order of picking will always be in sequence, right? Remember, first user will pick this, second will pick this, third will pick this. fourth will pick this, fifth will pick this, like that it will go. Okay. So this is how to prepare test data and how to pass the user inputs, pure user inputs, like those user input which the user is passing from his side, right? Okay, any inputs which the user is passing from his side to the server on the application, that has to be passed through test data files. Okay, that is why test data is prepared. And this is how we will be preparing, and preferably preferable will be CSV, and this is how we will be preparing that. We'll be calling the variables, we'll be calling the file path over here, and um, that's what. And when you will be running, you'll be getting the idea whether you can test also whether it is calling or not. So whether it is reading the values or not. You can read it here, or suppose you are running for 10 users and you want to check whether 10 user value has been picked or not. So you can choose debug sampler also. Like yesterday I told, like debug sampler tells uh, what value has been picked for each user. So this debug sampler is for second user. You can go and check, change the mode, TXT mode. And so all values for the second user. Here you can see username password as somewhere. Sure. Username is J2W and password. Then this debug sampler is for first user and what values has been picked for him. So, username, right? So through debug sampler also you can check, but better I suggest that we should check here where it is passing. That will be more convenient. Debug sampler is used to check the values when you are running for, let us say, 10 user, 20 users, and you want to cross verify that for those user value is getting picked on. That time you can choose them and cross verify, because that time going one by one and finding them and checking those requests not possible. Here since we are running for one user, two user, or maximum three, four user, you can check, okay, this is first login, this is second user login, this is third user like. But suppose you ran for 10 user and you are debugging your script, right? Means identifying the problem in the script, whether it is going good or not, or 20 users. So that much it's not possible. So that time debug sample comes handy. But again, remember, no need to, we do not check for 10 or 20 users, right? Like this, that is possible. Maximum one, two, or in worst case, till five user, you can check. You can run for five users. You can prepare five cadence, and you can cross verify everything. Okay. Whether the product is booked or not, whether value is getting booked or not, right? And parallelly, see, preparing the script is not the main thing. You have to verify that in application, right? For every five user, one by one, you have to open the application and log in and check, okay, for all five order is getting booked on. When this all is happening, then you become sure, okay, my script is perfect. And then only we run it for 100 user, 1000 user, 5000 user, whatever, 10,000, 20,000, right? So that is there. So that all will come slowly. We'll discuss them. Okay. Now, more on this test data only. So this is test data. Correct. Now, before we talk about some other thing on test data, we will first talk about absolute and relative file path concept. So what is that? Just a second. Some points I should write now only. Be later on. Maybe some points I'm restructuring. Restructuring means some topics will go here and there. So that's why. So yes, yes, yeah, fine. So absolute and relative path concept. This is not in JMeter, it's everywhere. Programming world. JMeter, fine. Concept in JMeter. Programming. Yes, IT world. This is there, okay, in IT world. This concept is everywhere, but we are going to learn about relative, absolute and relative file. Fine. So, what is that? Right? Now, this PPT, that's why I'm not sharing now because at the end of which some points will be restructured. Okay. Some slide will go up and down. Some contents will be added. So after end of batch, I'll be sharing this PPT uh, because like every time loading, uploading, other thing you are getting, right? All other thing I'll be sharing, even day-wise course material. So uh, I'm in line of preparing a Google Drive. So each day notes is generated by this AI, Zoom meeting AI. So that also I'll be sharing. So it's there maybe in 1 or day sharing, and then every day it will be shared. So some things are in progress. Fine. So yeah, PPT will be shared in the last because some stuffs are in process of restructuring. Something will go down, something will come up, some content will be added, something will be removed. So once finally after this batch, okay. So forget about. Now next, so absolute and relative file path concept in JMeter, not in JMeter. In this is in IT world. Okay, this concept whatever we'll be learning about files, this applies every in programming world or in IT world. Now what is that? See, whenever in JMeter or in any programming tool or anywhere in this IT world, when you give this whole path, right? When you give this whole path is called absolute path concept or absolute file path concept. Okay. Where you give proper whole path, right? Where you are giving proper whole path with where it is present. So it is present in my D drive, then one more directory. Directory or folder is same thing. Generally in normal world, we have a habit of calling folder, right? But technically it is called directory. But it is called directory, technical term. Okay. So this is one directory or one folder, another inside that, then inside that one more, and then inside that one more. So you can see I have D drive, then one more D drive, then one folder, then perf, and then inside that one more folder for bit store, and then inside that we are saving all these things. Right? Saving all things. Right? So till here it's path, and then the file name is here. Okay. So the test data, right? So when you give like this, so this is called absolute file path concept, and it is this concept is everywhere. I'm not saying only JMeter, any programming tool you are working or anything, even in coding. So going forward, after a few sessions, we'll be doing some coding also. So there will be preparing a file and writing some data to a test data file, right? We'll see. So that time also this will come in picture, relative analysis. So so this concept is called absolute. Remember, okay? But in generally in programming world or in JMeter thing or anywhere, we do not prefer absolute part. We prefer relative. Okay, relative. Now, what is relative? Relative is you do not give complete file like this. You just give the file. We just give the file. So what is the difference? We deleted the complete whole structure, right? D drive and all. No, that we delete. We have just given the file name, right? So this is called relative. Okay, relative. So uh, so this is relative. Okay, and relative is practiced everywhere. Okay, everywhere. Now, what is the benefit of relative and what was the drawback of absolute? Why we do not use absolute? That I'll discuss later on. First, we will talk about relative thing. So this is relative. This only giving file name is called relative concept or relative file path concept. Okay, path or relative file path concept. Now, here we have to understand one thing. If we are giving like this, then JMeter will get confused, right? Where this file is, correct? Anyone can get confused. Where this file is located, how he'll know? Earlier we have given like this, so that time JMeter is knowing, okay, D drive and this, then here is that file, and he will go and read it. So this is absolute. But when you give like this, so how JMeter will come to know where this file is? Right? So remember, there are two locations when we give relative. So there are two locations where JMeter will go and find this file path. So first location is bin direct. Okay, bin directory or bin folder, JMeter bin folder. Okay. So whenever we give a file like this, which is called relative, only file name. So when we will be running the test, so somewhere JMeter has to go and find this file, right? So where it will go? So first it will go in the bin directory. JMeter bin directory is there. There it will go and try to find whether this file is there or not. Okay. If it is there, it will read from that. Fine. If it is not there, then it will search in second place, which is JMX file direct. JMX file direct. Okay, direct. So what is JMX file directory? JMX. This is whole is a JMX file, right? A JMeter JMX file. Any JMeter file is a JMX file, correct? Because we save it extension JMX. Correct. What is the full form of JMX? I think I have earlier as well, right? Java managed. Okay, managed extension. Correct. So this is always there, right? Excel file has EXLX or CSV, right? A PPT has PPTX, DocX, PDF, right? So like that, our JMeter has extension called Gem. The script that we prepare, it has extension of Gem, right? So that's what. So first place is bin directory, and then if it is not there, then it will go and find in JMX file directory. Now, what is the meaning of JMX file directory? JMX file directory in the JMeter script on in which you are calling that file. Where is that present? Where is this JMX file is present? So automatically it will read it. Okay, JMeter file is present here, right? In this location. So what it will do, it will go and try to find in that location. So this is whole location. This is the final location where the JMX is there. So in this location, it will go and try to find it. So first is bin, right? Remember, first it will go and try to find in bin. If it is not there, then it will go and find in the JMX file location. That is where we are from. Okay. So that is the two places JMeter will go and read about that file, and it will try to find that file, and it will read the data from that because it has to read the data. It has to read. Now, so I hope you got the idea of relative. Now, we will come back to this again. Now, another thing, why we use relative, why not absolute? So I'll tell you. So suppose if I suppose if we give or if I give like this absolute, so what is the problem with that? Why we do not use, right? See, suppose I'm giving this to you, or we are using this. Now, what will happen? That suppose I'll give this script to you guys, okay, to run. So when you will open this script in JMeter and you will be running, so you have to change this part because the test that this test data file is my laptop, correct? This location is in my laptop. It has to in your laptop. You will be putting this in some other place, right? Maybe so you have to update this, right? This needs to be updated, correct? This needs to be updated. Understood, right? So same way, suppose you are giving it to your manager or some other person in the team to run the or here comes Git or GitHub, right? That we'll be learning later on. Where we this is just an extension of Jenkins, right? Jenkins and then Git. Git is what called cloud version of Jenkins, where everything is run through Git, right? We do not run the test from laptop. The tests are run on GitHub repositories. It's okay. In it all depend on project to project, but many project is run on Git. Many project is run on standalone. Now, what the meaning of standalone means? I'm running everything on my laptop. Or suppose you are an employee or I'm an employee. So I have all the controls or all the resources. I'm running all the things using my local laptop. The script is also there on my local test result, test that everything in local. So that is standalone. But generally in IT industry, people do not prefer that. People put all tests, not only JMeter, even this everything. Developer they run their codes, automation test, everything they run through Git only. If Git is an online platform where instead of your laptop, it is a cloud. Okay, like just understand in very simple way. This whole thing currently it's on my laptop, right? Why Git is there? We have Git has many added advantages. Many things are there, or GitHub or these things are why there. Like GitHub or GitLab is there. Why they are there and why it is in used in industry. There are many added advantages. But few things I'll just tell. Just simple thing. Like suppose this is on my laptop. Now what I'm doing on my laptop, who will see? No one will be able to see, right? Plus whether I ran a result or not. Where is the result? Right? I can show you by simply checking the result also. No one will be able to identify. Okay, I run for 100 user and this is the result. Whether it actually run for 100 user, who is coming to see? Right? No one is coming to see, right? So these many things are there. The drawbacks are there. Suppose maybe my laptop crashes, so this whole thing will crash, gone, right? So many things are there. And when we do it through cloud, so cloud is what? It's online repo, online platform, it, where these all things are kept online, and anyone can see. If you are running a test is running, test result is there, whether you executed that test yesterday or not, that time, everything will be there. So anyone can see that, right? So So that is one small thing I'm telling, and there is no problem of like crashing their test result will not crash, and I think many things will not happen. This is one thing I'm telling about Git. Well, Git is not only useful this. There are many things. Version control is there. Like suppose I'm working on this script. Now today I worked on this. Tomorrow this I'll push on my Git repo. Right? We will prepare a Git repo also very soon. Right? So we'll push it to Git. So tomorrow my manager or something can see my work. Okay, I've done this work. Next day I'll working and again I'm pushing the new file over there. So what it will tell the what are the previous changes, what is the current changes, so what I worked on, right? Plus any team member is we are working with a collaboration, right? Some team member is working on this transaction, some is working on this. This can happen, or like your team member, some is senior who want to review it, or suppose you went on leave and uh, you want to give this half work to another team member, so everything will be there, right? And he comes to know, okay, you have worked till here. He can download this script from that Git repo, and he can start working on rest of the thing. So many things is there, right? So that because currently this is my laptop. Think like I'm on lab employee and I'm preparing all this thing on my laptop. But tomorrow my laptop can crash. Tomorrow I'll not be there, means in office or whatever. Then uh, generally we do not pass the script and other thing through mail, right? I cannot send it to mail. In IT industry, it is not done like that. Okay. Those who are there in IT industry in the team who are IT, they know that. Right? So for that purpose, repo is there. We have to give all the data to other people in the team through Git repo one. We do not send it through mail or chat like that. It's not done, right? So same with this JMX file. Suppose I have to give it to you. So for now we are doing a training. So I can give in the chat option, or I can send in WhatsApp group, right? And you can have it. But the same thing, or suppose now, but in real time, suppose I'm in project and I have to prepare this, and now I have to send it to some person, or I have to run this so that other can also see that, or I have to send it to my manager. So I cannot send it to mail or other thing. All things should be done through Git. So Git is an online platform or repo where this all thing are kept, and uh, all thing like setup is done. So you can run your test there. What test you are running, it will be shown. Anyone can see that. Suppose other can download this from Git also. Right? So many things are there, right? So now coming back to our relative and absolute concept. So absolute, right? Absolute. So that is the problem. Suppose I'm giving this script to through chat only to you guys. So you have to update this, right? Update is needed. Even if I'm giving to my manager, he has to update this. So this is extra burden, correct? Extra, right? Same way in Git repo, that what I talked. Suppose if I'm pushing this to Git, then again will it work? Because Git is an online platform. This platform is of my laptop part. It is not going to work there, right? It is not going to work there. It takes relative only, right? So that is the problem. So we go with the relative, okay? Only file name. Now, when we go with the relative, so what happens? What is the beauty or what is the benefit? Benefit is that suppose if I give this to you, so I'll give this file, JMX file and test data file to you. You can keep it anywhere. You can download it in your laptop and keep it anywhere. You can run it. You do not have to go and change the path here, right? Because it's just a file name. And wherever you are keeping the JMX, right, you will be keeping this test data there. Automatically, it will read, right? Because just now I told that at two places it will read, either in bin directory or in, where is JMX directory. So there it will be. So obviously, it will be keeping some location, right, in your laptop also. It will read it, so no need to change. In Git repo also, we just JMX is there and there only test data, so it will read it. So that is the benefit of relative, right? So not only in JMeter, everywhere in IT industry, relative path, file path concept is practiced. Okay. Now, some other thing about on the same points also. Well, so these are there. I'll talk about them, but so we'll finish this today. But few things here. Yeah, about this point, one of the limitation. Uh, see, the same thing what I told that suppose this file is there, and so this file is currently it's there in JMX location, right? So if I am running You see it's running very fine. Right. It's running fine. I'll stop. So now just to show you, I'll delete this. Then, so I have deleted test data. Now, if you try to run, see, it will not run. Test will not. I'm clicking here. And here error will also come. Just focus. Read. Here you see danger symbol is there. Danger triangle. So beside that there is a zero. So there it will show error like 1, 2 in red color. And I'll be clicking on this, but test will not. Nothing will be happening. Their error came to, right? You see on top right corner and nothing happened. Again, if I click on, see, nothing is happening. So actually what is happening? So actually, as I told you that we have given the file path, but now JMeter is trying, before running the test, it is trying to find this file, where it is. So as I told you that it will go and try to find in two places, either in JMeter bin directory. So this is JMeter and bin directory here. So it's not there. Okay, fine. Then where it will go? It will try to find in the JMX directory. So this is the JMX directory. JMX file is here. This is that. So here it will try to find. Is that file here? Here also it's not there. So that's why it's throwing error. Okay, it's throwing error. Error is coming, and test is also not. Nothing is happening. So that is one drawback of this CSV. Remember that if you are not using it, suppose if you are using this CSV, so use it correctly. Like suppose you have given the file path and everything, but file has to be there. Otherwise, nothing will happen. A simple even home page is not run. So that time, do not get confused. Hey, I'm clicking what happened. My test is not running, right? Because this is very tricky. Many people get, even I myself also get sometimes confused when nothing happens here. Then I remember, okay, there is a problem with the CSV. Okay. So that is one limitation with CSV, or a very important take care we have to do, that when if you are using the CSV dataset config element, you have to use it efficiently. It's not like that you have used that and like I'll tell you one thing. Suppose you have used this, right, and you are not giving this here anything. Okay, simply you have added this element, or let me re-add it. That is only with this element. This special case is there. So I have added this element simply. I have nothing given. I have not given anything yet. Then also test should run at least, right? Home page, but not, test will not. I'll clear this error using, if I use this or this brush, it will clear. You see, it got clear. Now again, if I try to run, here error came, two error are coming because two user I am running, so two error. But here nothing is happening. Again, if I'm running, nothing is happening. So that time, just remember that there will be, if you are running a test and you do not see anything here, so that time always remember one point, that there will be a problem with CSV. Now, what is the problem? What are the rules with the CSV? Remember, first rule is that if you are using the CSV, use it properly. Means give the file path and everything should be correct. Otherwise, it will not allow test to run. Like even I'll tell you. Suppose I'll disable this element. Disable means think like it's not there. So now if I run, see, it's running. Everything is running fine. Okay, fine. Let me clear this. Now, if I'm enabling, okay, I'm enabled. Now, same thing. I've cleared. Now I'll run. Uh, so it will not run. Okay, it's not running. It's not running. So that is one thing. Right? That is the main thing. One thing. Remember that whenever you are using it, the CSV, use it efficiently. Now, what is the efficient means? Efficient means two things. One thing is, if you are using it, give all things proper, like whatever file path and all the things. Okay. Do not simply use it at blank, like this is blank. Even we are not using it, file is not there, but test has to run, it's not running. Okay, remember. So even if you are using it and you are not giving anything, test will not run. So in that case, either you remove that or disable that. Okay, remember. Now, next thing is if you are running, if you added it, so give the file path and all things proper here. And proper here. Now, suppose we have given this. Now also it is, if I click here, not nothing is happening. So now what is happening? Even though now we'll get confused. Okay, we have given file name, but again now it's not because file name you have given, file is not. Right? So that also we have to be careful. Sometime everything is correct. File you have given, file is also present there, and everything is present. Maybe some spelling mistake you have done here. So that time also it cannot read the file and test will not run. Right? So all that you can read through this error log as well. I'll show you. For one user, let us clear this. So you can clear the previous error using this bigger brush. So I've cleared that. Now I'll run it. So you see nothing happened and here error came. Now if you want to read the error, just click on this yellow box, yellow triangle, and here one message will come. This is called uh, error log concept. Here it is. Log view. It is also called a log view. Logs. JMeter. So here you can open that and you can see here, suppose here error. You can find the word here and here it will tell you file name must not be empty related to CSV data set it's saying. So it's saying that you have used the CSV but file name should not be. Now suppose we are giving a file name also. Now also if I run again, I'll clear the previous log. So still it is throwing error. It didn't run. Now what is the next error? Next error, if you try to read here, but it could not read that file. It cannot read the file. Means maybe either there is something wrong in the file name or file is not present at that location. Where is that location? Right? So since we are using a relative concept, so that file has to be there in the either in bin directory or in the JMX folder or JMX directory. So I'll put that file back. Now I have put in that file back. So now if you see now it came back. It go and so that point you have to remember about CS. Or uh, or you can put that in bin directory also. So two places. In distributed testing, distributed testing, like I've explained you, uh, how to do distributed testing that we have not covered. But what is distributed testing? I think I have explained, right? So in that how to do, we'll be learning about that. But what is distributed testing? So in distributed testing, we keep the test data in the bin directory generally. Or in normal case, it will be there in same location where JMX file. So that is all about relative file, absolute file, why we use relative, right, in IT industry or in JMeter, then about this error log, uh, about this CSV config element that we have to use it properly. Okay, so if you are using it, if you are not using it, so remove it, or if you are using it, so you have to use it properly. Otherwise, it will not allow the test to run. Right? Properly means give the file path properly. File has to also exist where it should. It is supposed to exist, and so all this. Okay. And yeah, and how to prepare test data, what preferred way is CSV, why we choose that. All this, we cover all these things. Now, what is that? Now we have also talked about that how to execute for multiple different users to run the test for multiple run or execute test for multiple different users, right? Fine. Then there are some other stuff like about picking up the values. Okay, so see in this how value is picked from a CSV, right? So from a CSV, remember not only CSV, any test data file, whether it is TXT or CSV, right? How value are picked. So value is always picked in sequence and according to the user. So as I said, like suppose here two data are there, two data, and we are running for two users. So first user will pick this, second user will pick the second one, whole second column or row. First user will pick whole uh, first row. Suppose we have five test data, five, and we are running for five users. So process will remain same, right? Five test data here and five users. So process will remain same. First user will pick this, second user will pick this, third user will pick this, fourth user will pick this, fifth user will pick this, like that in sequence. Okay, in sequence. Yeah. So this is how picking happens. Now, suppose that data are only two and we are running for five users, then what will happen? Okay. So in that case, this data is recycled. Okay, recycled means what? The same data is utilized by all five users. Now, how that is utilized? That is also in sequence. So let us say here test data is only two and you are running for five user or 10 user, whatever. So first user will pick this and second user will pick this. Okay, first and second. Now, how many out of five, how many are left? Third is left, fourth is left, fifth is. Now again, from beginning. So recycle means first user use this, second user use this. Now it will recycle. So again, third, right? In sequence, third came. So third is will pick again this one, and fourth will pick this one. Okay. Now again it will go back. So five, right? Fifth will pick this one, like that. Okay. So this thing will be recycled by all the users. Like if users are more and test data is less. First user this, second user this, then recycle again. Third user this, fourth user this, then recycle. Fifth user this, sixth user this, again recycle. Seventh user this, eighth user this, recycle. Ninth user this, tenth user this, right? So in sequence, the same test data will be recycled by all the users. Okay. So this is how it is done. I can show you four users and just logging. We can do that. It can fail logging, right? So this is first user, right? So he picked that first value. That is the first value. This is the first value. This is simple. So this is the first value. Then this login, which is the second user. So he picked the second J2. Now this user is third user. So again he is picking the first right? You see first value. And again this is fourth user. So again he is picking uh, second value. Second. So like this sequence. This anything if you are confused about this data, you can always run and check what is happening. So that is how picking happens. Picking always happen in sequential. If there are 10 test data and 10 users, so each user from beginning, first user, first test data, second user, second test data, third user, third test data, and like that, all 10 user will pick all 10 different test data. So understand that if you have to run for unique users, like unique credential means all users has to, suppose you are running for 1000 users and you want all 1000 users to pick all 1000 different test data. So in that case, what you have to do? You have to put all 10,000 different test data in the CSV file. Then only 10,000 or 1000 users will be reading this value different, correct? Because sequentially they will pick. But if data is less and users are more, then picking will be recycled. Recycled. And a random, generally this random is not used. But if you want to pick the value in haphazard manner, randomly, any user picking any test data, you can use this element. This is a plugin element. You have to install it through plugin, and I think we have already installed that. So it's very simple. You can add and use that. So this its name only is random. So if you use it, so that time what will happen? Any user will be picking any data haphazard. Anyone can pick anything, right? But default behavior of CSV is like this one: first user first data, second user second data, third user third data, like that. And if data are less, so recycle. Then so this is what same unique explain, like that if you want to uh, so this one. Can you continue or because it will take 10 minutes more. I think it's late. There are some attributes here I have to explain. I'm going very slow. It take too much time. Not any. I think if it is late, we can. Or if you can wait for just 5 minutes, I'll explain them. They are not very much hard to understand. So here we give these are some setting of CSV, right? So this here you give the file name, which is generally related. Encoding we do not give. Comma variable is also not important, like variables name or comma that thing. But again, if you just want to understand, it means that the variable column. Here we are using the variables. The first column is variable. So what you can do, you can use this here, and you can remove this, and you can just keep the values here. So JMeter will automatically understand, like, okay, suppose you are giving username, comma, password, and you are not using this here. Only value you are giving. So automatically JMeter will understand that, okay, first column is for username, second is for, but generally no one does that. But that option is given for that purpose. Generally, we put the variables name here, correct? Then this ignore first line is for this setting only. If you are putting this variable instead of this file, instead you are putting here, and you want to ignore this, either you can delete this because already you are putting it here, right? So that time you can delete this, or if you are keeping this also, but you want to ignore this first line, right? First line, so you can choose from false, you can choose it to true. Okay, your option is to choose. So these both are dependent, and generally no one use that, so ignore. Right. Next is about this delimiter. So delimiter, if you see, is comma given. Very comma is given here. If you see very minutely, a comma is given here. Means all the data will be separated by commas. Okay, that is default. Now, when we cannot change, like when we have to change other thing, like by default is comma, and here they have given that you can use tab. So when we should use tab, right? That question will come. Tab will like slash t, slash t. So when you want to use slash t, in that case, what you have to do in the test data file, right? Test data file. This is the test data file, right? By default, they are separated by comma. But now, if you are using slash t tab, so in that case, what you have to do instead of comma, you have to delete the comma and press tab, and this way remove the comma, press tab. Tab is a uh, keyboard key, right, in our laptop, right, on the left side. Tab is there. So when you press tab, so this will be created, and that way this value will be separated, and JMeter will understand. Okay. Now when we can use this tab, right? When we can use this tab, so that question will be coming in mind. So tab thing, when we can use only when so tab we can use when suppose here. So let us say that you are you are passing an address. You want to pass an address, okay? And in address, if comma is there, right? Comma is there. So in that case, for an example, suppose there are two variables in that. I'm using it here. Uh, Now, just for one, two unders. That is just for separately. That is non-mental. Oh, right here. No. Thanks. So by default, comma. Yeah. Okay. So understand what is the default behavior I told, right? Generally, the value we pass through comma, right? So this is username. Suppose a username here. Then comma. This is another variable, right? So another variable, and so this is the value for this whole value. Understand, right? This was our use case, username and password, but by default it was separated by comma. Okay, this is the default thing, and generally it is this only, and that's why here comma is also. Whether you prepare in CSV or TXT, they are separated by comma, and we are using, right. But when we can use, and you know, right, this column is for this variable, and this column, this value are for this variable. Very simple. Now, when we can change tab, another option we can have. So suppose this is the use case. Suppose you have to pass an address, and address is big, and address, let us say comma is there, right? Then what will happen? Understand? So in that case, there will be one problem. Now, what is that problem? It has read, it has read get this part for the username, because I called the username here. Right? Ignore this. This I have given just to separate this so that no confusion. I'm just showing this here as example. Generally, we do not call it in name. This is name. Not call it. Generally, we'll be calling it someplace here or here, wherever required. So think like here you have to pass the address. Think like that. Okay. So instead of showing that, I'm just showing it here, just to make it thing more cleaner. Okay. So first part, username. It has read the username, correct? It's reading the username as it is with inverted quotes and everything. Now, when it has to read the address, in address, what it is reading? It is only reading this much. It is not reading this. Why? Because we have used comma, right? So yesterday, like in beginning also, I told that this is comma, and after that, JMeter will think this is another value. So this is comma, and after that, this value it will think this value is for this variable, right? And after that, comma is come. So JMeter will think after this comma, whatever this value are there, that is for another variable. Okay, another variable, right? And that's why this part it is not reading. But I want to read this whole part as part of address variable. So in that case, we can change it to tab. Instead of plus t, we can press. Sorry, instead of press, you can put plus t here, and then here what you have to do instead of this comma, you have to just press tab, and instead of this comma, you have to press tab. So press the tab. Ignore the gap here. Gap is small. Do not get confused. But tab I have pressed. So here tab is there. Here also tab is there. Now if I save this and to save and we will run it. Now you see it's running reading for full. Okay. So like that another user and his address complete you are given. So instead of comma as a separator, we will be using tab, 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 right tab. Okay. So when you want to read the comma and when you want to read some data which is comma in that time you have to use tab. Otherwise it will not take full. So it's, by default we use comma. Then allow quoted data is false. This quoted data is for this case, which I have shown. Sometimes you want to pass the details or data with quotes or without quotes. Suppose you have given quotes and if it is false, so it will take the quotes and if you make it true and even that quotes is there, it will not take. No, it will not take. Right. So that setting about quotes again that is not important. What is important? I'm telling this is important. Have stuff is important because sometimes it can be useful. And then comes this is not important, but I have told this is important. Then comes this three. Okay. This is recycle on end of file. Now, what is the meaning of that? Meaning is the same thing which I have explained in the beginning. That suppose recycle true means what? Like here, 5 data is there, and you are running for 10 users. So what will happen? First user read this, second read this, third read this, fourth read this, fifth read. Now 5 are left, right? Out of 5 are left. So they will recycle from beginning. Sixth will read this, seventh will read this, eighth will read this, ninth will read this, 10th will read this. Okay. Suppose 15 user are. So again recycle. 11th will read this, 12th will read this. So that is the meaning of recycle on end of file. EOF means end of file. Here file is ending, the test data are ending here. So after that, recycle. So by default, that is true, and that's why this behavior is there. If you have 10 user and test data, then each one will be using reading one, right? But if data are less, users are more, so recycle. If you make it false, in that case, they will not read, right? They can make it false. Next, come stop the thread on end of file. Again, this is we do not use this setting as well. Now, what is the meaning of this? Like thread means user. Wherever you see a word called thread, instead of that, you read it as a user and you'll get a clear picture. So stop user on end of 5, which is false. Means suppose you are running for 10 user, data are 5. So first will read this, second will read this, third will read this, fourth user will read this, fifth user will read. Now what about sixth, seventh, eighth? Right? So we have given recycle, they will recycle. But you do not want to read them and you want to stop those users. So that time you can make it true. True. So when you make it true, so all those users for whom test data is not there, they will be stopped. They will not be done. But again, I just said not this setting. Uh, you do not have to worry about much of it. So what's thing this name tab stuff? This to by default, what is there? It should be as it is. Okay, so let it be to touch. But I've explained this sharing mode is the third. Now in sharing mode, what happens? By default, it's all thread. There are three settings are there: all thread, current thread group, thread group. So all thread, uh, all thread or current thread group means its meaning is same. So it means that uh, this is our test. And so suppose I'll run for two users or three users. Three, two. They are called here also, but I'm just calling it here so that we can just see them correctly, understand the things correctly. Means view will be clear. That's all. But generally we do not use unnecessary, so do not get confused. Here I'm just using to show the things easily, right? Because I have to click and then show you here. That becomes difficult. Okay, so it's better to I'm calling them here. So now suppose I'm running for three users and these are the users. So you can see here one I just said uh, three users, two test data are there. So recycle has happened. So one user has written this, second one user has written this, and again recycle has happened. So third user has written this. So I think one this do not go by sequence. Okay, this may be first user, but this will be third user. You can see, and this is second user. Always value will be picked by sequence. So first user, second user, and then recycle third user. Right, correct. So that is clear. Right? So all thread and current thread group also if you choose. So see, right? But what happens when we choose the third? So when I choose the third one, then you see all three users will be reading the same test data. All three user, or even if you are running for all 1000 users, every user will be reading this test data first. So so this setting again we do not use always, but when we can use, right? That question when there is a looping concept in JMeter or in performance testing, where we run the test one off back like uh, sequentially back to back. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of that? Back to back means a looping is there. Now, what is the meaning of? Okay. Suppose I'll run for one user. So when I ran for one user and loop is one, say one user, one loop, or let us say two user or one loop. So what will happen? all user that one user or even that 10 user or loop is one, all user will start from home page launch and it will end at the last transaction, whatever the last one. Currently these are disabled, so they didn't run till here I have ran, right? So this is the last. So this is called one loop, okay, or it's called one iteration, like one iteration. Now, if I change it, this loop or iteration to two or five or anything, right? We'll be understanding this more in coming session about. Then what will happen? That one user or 10 user, whatever, they will be running it two times. See, homepage launch to till confirm one time, and then again another second time. So even it is for 10 user or 100 user, 1000 users, and if loop is two, so they will be running it two times. If loop is five, they will be running this five times, right? So like that. Now in the case of looping, right? So when that setting, when we can use saying this third setting, when you want to read the data, like in first loop, you want all users should read this, and in second loop, you want to read all users should read this. In third loop, you want another data, all users should read this. In fourth loop, you want all users should read another data. Then you can use this third. So you can see here, I am running for let us say just two users or three users, or just four users, and loop is login things here. So you see four users, right? And then again four user re-executed it. So in the second loop, they read. It's confusing. Okay. It should be clear. So this is first. Now second loop will start. All users are. This is second. So you see in first loop, they read. All users are reading this. Second loop, they are reading. So when you want a scenario like that, then you can use this third one. Otherwise, by default, all thread one, where all users are reading all the data in sequence. That is the default. Video session. Right, so, okay, you can see. So that is the final thing about looping. Then comes so I have explained that to you. I have explained this. One more thing, this thing, last thing, and then we are done. See, whenever we are creating a test data here, just make sure that blank lines do not get created in the end. Now, what is the meaning of blank? Blank line is suppose this is the last test data in our test data file, and by mistake you press enter, right, like this. So I press the enter, and you can see my cursor is blinking here, right? You can see here, my cursor is blinking here. It means that these are blank lines created here, and we will not be aware. And in that case, what will happen? I'll show you. Suppose I'll be running for four users. So I'm running for four users. Okay, yet only two test data. So by default, what will happen? Right? That first user will read this, second user will read this, then third user will read this, and fourth user will read. But here now they will not read like that. So these are third and fourth user. And what happened to them? This is third user, fourth user. They are not recycling. They are not. They are not reading this data. Why? Because by default here blank lines are created, and they are reading those blank lines, and that's why E of end of file is come. So be sure that always check that suppose this is the last line of test data. So you can press your cursor here and press a down arrow and check whether cursor is moving down or not. If it is moving, so delete those blank lines using a bracket space or what. Okay, so I'm deleting all and cursor should be at the last place here. There should be no blank line. Now if I do save, now I've rectified that. Now same thing if I run. In that case, you can see here it's working fine. So avoid creating blank lines. So that is take care of. So this is all about this stuff. So we have completed this part. Running for running and testing for multiple different users, and we have also checked that uh, we have also verified that for different two users the order is getting booked. Now we will uh, see like different business data or different test data. Now what is the meaning of different test data is like if you see here all these orders. Order ID different, but if you see all this data, if you see this data or this adult female goldfish, this fellow is also booking adult female goldfish. This fellow is order ID different, but this all data or this all data or this product, even this is same for him, or this also it's same for him. There you see, right? So this is called test data, business related test data, right? So all user is booking same stuff. Now we have to make the script more modular, more dynamic in nature, more reusable, so that they use different test data. Plus one more thing which I should have covered uh, earlier only, but I missed out. It's like this transaction. This 14 will fail for one user. 14 has failed. Why 14 is failing? You can see your internal server error. But actually, it's not a server problem. 500 status code, we have learned that it is server problem. But actually, it is because of our script, it is happening. Why it is failing, right? So first, we will tomorrow. First, we'll learn about this. Okay. Then then we will learn about booking the different products for different users. So that's what booking running the script for multiple different users with different set of business orders. So first we will be learning about this was supposed to be covered earlier, but I missed out. Means actually sequencing was first that was supposed to be covered, that order editing, and then we were supposed to cover this. And not an issue, but just jump. I missed that sequencing. But again, we will revisit from here and we'll come down. Yeah. So that is for today. Thank you all. Mhm. Ah, yeah. Oh, you want to show your screen? You want to show your screen? My screen. Okay, fine. Okay, let me. So thank you all. Have a great